What's up, everyone? 3D Print 747 here, back again with a practical print. So this is a rubber foot off of an amplifier head that I have. It's a PV6505 that I use in the band that I'm in. It's kind of stiff, but also not too stiff, so it can take some, I guess, banging around. The issue that I'm going to have printing this is that I have to insert a washer in here. See how that washer is kind of inserted down into the rubber foot. So this is the closest washer that I have here tonight. It has a little bit of a gap hanging over, maybe 2 millimeter gap all the way around. So that should be enough to print solid all the way up to about there. Pause the print, put the washer in, and then print about 3 layers, maybe 2, just on the outside of the 2 millimeters, and then expand that back in. I'm not sure if the TPU is going to stick. I don't know. I've never done this before. We're going to check it out. We're going to try it, and stay tuned. All right. So what I decided to do was to take this into Tinkercad, and I'm not going to put the washer in, stop the print, put the washer in, and then continue printing. That's a waste. So what I did was, you'll see here, if I ungroup this, I just pretty much, let's undo that. This is 24.95 round. Make sure when you're printing round stuff that you go to the highest sides possible. Otherwise, if you don't, you'll see how it puts the kind of like sides on, and you don't want that if you want it perfectly round. So do that. And then what I did was measured the width of the walls of the rubber foot, and they were 5.6 millimeters. So I just subtracted 5.6 from each of these at 24.95, and I came up with 19.36. But the way I did that was I went here and then duplicated it, pulled it out, made it a hole, and then I changed the numbers to what it is here. So that's what you want to do. And then drag it back over here, and you're not going to get it perfect. And then select everything, go here to align that side, and then group them together. And I also made a note that the where the solid piece started was at 6.5 millimeters tall from the bottom of the foot. Then I measured the screw hole, and that came in at 5.45. So I'm dragging this over here. Make sure when you do this and you're putting a hole all the way through something that you actually go through the plane. Otherwise, it'll create a 1 millimeter 1 millimeter layer and block the hole. You don't want that. So that's drug over there. Again, it's not perfect, so I'm selecting all of them, selecting a line, going there, and then hitting group. And that's what we end up with. And that looks pretty good. It looks just like the foot that I'm needing on the amplifier. So I'm going to go ahead and print this. What I'll do is I'm not going to find an exact washer. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be that wide. It should just be enough to where the metal pushes against the rubber bushing and doesn't allow the screw to fall through the hole. So I'm going to go ahead and take this into the slicer. Let's change this from these goofy names that Tinkercad makes. And I'm going to export this. And that's ready to go. Go over here and save this guy just in case you need it later on. And you can see all the things that I've printed, or created rather, in the past. All right, so let's close Tinkercad here. Well, let's actually go to Bamboo Studio and open that guy up. There it is. Looks great. I'm going to go pretty high on the infill. I don't want this soft and rubbery. I'm going to go 4 walls. I'm going to go maybe 65. Undo that. I have to go there. I'm going to go 65. And I'm going to choose adaptive cubic. I've been liking adaptive cubic recently. It actually has been making the prints stronger, in my opinion. If you go there versus like grid, you can see how more hollow it is versus the adaptive cubic. So we're going there. Not going to use supports. I don't care about a brim right now because we should be pretty good. I'm going to jump this up to 28 millimeters, or 0.28 millimeters rather. I'm going to use the modified value. You can see here, it wants to go back to 15% in grid with 2 wall loops, but the modified value that I changed prior to changing the nozzle size was 65% adaptive cubic and 4 walls. So I'm going to use this modified value, which you can see here, modified value. And we are staying at 4 walls and 65%. So we're good. All right, I'm going to send this to the printer and we will see how things look in 29 minutes. Stay tuned, guys. Not looking too bad. 41% complete. Just like a BambuLab doing what it's supposed to be doing. Alright, so here's what we ended up with. We've got this TPU printed rubber foot. Not as soft as the original. Not as grippy. But all I need to do is stand in and hold the amp head square. So I think we're good there. Let's go ahead and find the screws for this. And there are these black screws right here. Put these back in the bag for something else. All right, so these go in like that, and you can see the silver washer in there keeps it from pulling through the rubber. Same with this one, no difference. So with this, what I'm going to do is drop this washer in there, and boom, that should be good enough to hold it on the amp. So let's back the camera out a little bit and attach the feet. All right, so we have one foot attached already. I'm going to go ahead and add another one. Nice and snug, both of them. Slide over here and attach this to the back. The reason I'm attaching the original to the back is because if the amp head gets pushed, I want the grippy feet to be on the back to hold it in place, as opposed to the TPU one that I printed. Perfect fit. I love printing practical things like this. It's so awesome. I didn't have to wait a week to get the feet from PV in the mail. I was able to just do it tonight, knock it out, and within an hour have the foot printed and ready to go. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe and share it if you haven't already. And we will catch you on the next one.